If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code ATNIGHT to get 5% off your order.
Hello, and welcome to the endless carnival of misery that is watching Bushiro try to support this game. My name is Root Beer.
I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt. I'm confused.
It's out of order. Yeah.
This game exists.
Yes.
And I put this podcast on my resume.
My condolences.
Did you really?
Well, because I've run the thing, I do the editing, I market the thing, and it shows, consistency in producing content and stuff. Especially for the field I'm in, which is copywriting and copy editing. Like it gets there.
No, makes sense.
Yeah. But it's just funny to point hiring managers to this, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, okay, so there's this trading card game. It's not Pokemon.
All right, next.
Yeah.
Or even One Piece.
Yeah. Or even One Piece. That's a hell of a burn. But yeah, so Dragontree Invasion pre-release.
Coming out this Friday.
Yeah, coming out this Friday. Pre-released last week.
Mm-hmm. But obviously, shops vendors and the like have to get prepared to get all of their shipments and stuff out, so people are already cracking into their cases, which means we know the ratios for things that are going to be in the set.
I was trying to make that soda can sound like a long fart. That's
Doobie.
didn't work. I gotta do it closer to the mic next time.
Yeah. So you'll remember that there are reprints in this set. So we have a set of double R reprints, a set of triple R, and a set of triple R reprints. So there's some good news, some bad news, and news that I didn't think was possible for them to screw up, but here we are.
Well,
so yeah, for the good news, it looks like we're getting 4 double R reprints a case, so you at least have a full playset. It's probably not doing a ton to change the price. Pre-release prices are about the same as the originals, but I imagine as the supply increases, it'll dip for a bit before kind of going back up.
Yeah,
people usually does.
Well, because not every shop is allowing people to crack into stuff early. It depends on how nice your shop owner is. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
And just the thing where when the set drops for real, it's allowed to be opened and in tournaments. So, for example, it's not allowed in this week's Spring Fest.
Correct.
Yeah. So once it's allowed and more people have opened cases, done pack openings on their channels. Yeah.
On Friday, when it officially comes out, we're going to see a larger supply of things, and the prices for them are probably going to dip a bit as, the supply increases before demand really catches up. Yeah. And then, for the bad, but, we kind of expected this. Guess how many triple R reprints there are in a case?
12.
Okay, so you get 6 of them in a case.
200. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So,
6
there
play
are
sets?
No, 6.
Jesus.
You wish. Yeah, you get 6 of them in a case. There are 5 nations, so you get 1 of each, and then one of them randomly has a duplicate.
I'm no expert. This seems not ideal.
No. I mean, everyone joked that this was going to be the ratio, so, it's one of those, yes, I'm upset about it, but this is, an expected level of failure.
What I don't understand is, I know Bushiroad prints based off demand, right? You have to kind of prod them to get something. We made this very clear very early that we wanted reprints of DBTO4 back in I don't know, DBTO6. It's DBT09, and they're like, all right, we got around to it. You did 6 of them. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Like with the double R reprints, they are being listed at like similar prices to their originals, although in the case of these triple Rs, they are exponentially higher than the double Rs. Like out of all of the double Rs, Bulbul Mine is the only one that's still past $5. Like Painkiller Angels 3, everything else is like pennies. But like for the triple Rs, Inlet Pulse is a $30 bordering on $40 card. Brainwash Swirler is a $40 card. Trick Moon went up a lot. I don't know how much Trick Moon is off the top of my head. I remember it was 18 at one point.
Yeah.
I
had all of them that I sold for 18.
Yeah, so Trick Moon's around like 15 right now. So like the triple R reprints are worth a lot more than the double R reprints are, and they have like the worst ratios. Like there's a distinct possibility that these triple R reprints might be more expensive than their original printing because they were already so expensive to begin with, and the supply is just so low relative to the demand.
It is also possible that we see a very bizarre thing happen where they reprint a thing, and that thing becomes more expensive because the reprint increases demand.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it doesn't count as increasing supply because there's not really enough of the...
Correct.
Oh,
yeah, because...
I got a C- in economics. This is frying my brain.
And here's the thing, like, Brainwash Swirler is just going to be, like... Because Chronojet is relevant now. Like, we don't know what the status is on the ban list for us, so we don't know if we're getting, like, the Swirler limit yet. And then, like, Dragdould is getting support in set 10 that's looking like it might be relevant. So, like, Swirler is going to be good there, just as, like, a generic piece of support. Like, this card isn't going down in price anytime soon, is what I'm trying to get at. Inlet Pulse is a card that's, like, probably less important. Like, I think people overestimate the card sometimes when you compare, like, its performance against, like, the decks it was actually good in.
Yeah, like, I remember you bringing up, what was it, Leonorn? Where people just kind of cram it in there and it's not necessarily needed. You just kind of...
Like, I think Leonorn with the mask doesn't need soul as much anymore. You're probably looking for more counterblasts, honestly. So, like, I think Inlet Pulse is not super important there. I have yet to really, like, get into it, but I do think people overestimate Inlet Pulse, and, like, Trick Moon is for exactly Bob Sagra, and Bob Sagra is like, which is why it's half the price of the other triple Rs.
Yeah.
And no one cared about the Orphis triple R to begin with. It's just there because they wanted to be on theme.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that it is in the set just detracts from the fact that they reprinted Brainwash Swirler and Inlet Pulse.
It actually does kind of bother me that they're so obsessed with getting the theme right of, like, having one per nation and less worried about just, like, maybe we should make the format relevant. That is ostensibly the starter format.
Right. It is the main format.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for the thing that I did not believe they could possibly screw up, so this set has, you know, alternate cards too. It has, like, tokens, because Granthea needs plant tokens, so it has that and the Noblesse. And it has Dragontree markers, because, you know, the tree makes them, and it's, like, part of the playstyle. They're like a little mini force marker you can get.
Yeah.
And Bushiroad made the unfathomable decision to make all 3 of these, like, extra cards collectively 1 per box. Which means all 3 of them are competing for space, and they have, like... And you're only getting, like, 6 or 7 per case, because it's just randomly divided between the 3. So we are in this baffling situation where a marker, you know, not even like a real card in the sense of deck building, just like a thing to denote a game mechanic, is being pre-sold for $10 because it's at triple R ratios.
This would be like if, like, dice were something you could pull in a box and you get 1 dice per case or something.
I mean, they did do that before. I think it was like the Moonlight.
But you're not forced to use that dice. You can use any dice. What I'm saying is that it's something that is important for the game to work, but it doesn't work in the actual deck, which is so...
It's an extra card.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we have to use their official tokens. So this is the most just like, I don't even know how to describe how incompetent this is. That like, we have somehow short printed markers.
These should be like 1 per pack. Like,
Probably.
you have like 4 commons a pack, right? Like, it should just be 1 in each of them. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's like advertising the set. You should be like have a Scrooge McDuck vault of these things.
Yeah.
And we don't.
I don't know how they like, so they have this problem of like, we have these 3 different extra cards. You have like the Noblesse token, the regular plant tokens, and the Dragontree marker. And somehow they decided, instead of just putting like all 3 in a box as like a box topper, that we were just going to divide them up evenly between the case. Like, the Noblesse, at the very least, is like a unit. Like, it has card text on it. It does things. Like, if I really twist the logic a bit, I could, like, conceive of it being more than, like, 50 cents. But, like, if you just look up, like, force markers or, like, the treasure marker for 7 Cs, those are all, like, 50 cents, which is what the Dragontree marker should cost. But it's, like, gonna be $10, and I think the price in Japan is very similar to that, and that is brain-breakingly ridiculous. I can't even... And, like, this is a level of incompetence I didn't expect from Bushiroad, and my expectations were already bottom of the barrel. Like, I expected the 1 per case triple Rs. Like, I don't know how else to say this.
He's like out of anger, right? Like, I said all the stuff. Like, now,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't really know how to add on top of that. Matt, did you have anything to?
I mean, Root Beer pretty much said it all.
Yeah. Righteous anger is hard to top.
It really is. It really is. I just don't. I'm running out of like different things to say at this point.
Yeah.
I keep thinking there'll be a different mistake, and well,
no. That's the other infuriating thing about it. It's such a simple mistake.
Yeah. Now, in fairness, we are getting more of them in set 10 because it also works with the mask cards. And like,
okay, so that's
set 10 is when it will be actually important. But like, my concern with this now is because this original printing of them was so scarce. Like, what's gonna happen? What's the ratio gonna be like in set 10? Because last time they made a mistake like this was the Meteors, where it was like 1 per box, I think.
I do remember that. Yeah.
But you needed like 8 of them in the deck. So they had to like dramatically increase how many Meteors there were by reprinting set 3. And I think in English we just got the fixed version of it.
Yeah. I think there's this like expectation when they're designing their sets where they're like, oh, it's a marker, right? This is something for a game mechanic that shouldn't really cost that much, right? It can't be that popular. ...
Yeah. Like, all it supports right now is like a D tier deck in the Dragontree, right? Like, that thing is not good.
Yeah.
Like, the mask stuff seems like it's going to be very powerful. We can talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, it's going to become much more relevant in set 10 as like the meta shifts and these new mask cards may or may not become relevant. And if you're like roughly estimating, the grade 1, like the wretches, they make 1 on an empty circle. So like, if you don't have a marker on it already, you can put you can counterblast 1 to put a marker there. And then the tree makes like 2 of... when you use like the grade 0 to go into the tree, you make 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the seed can put them onto like anything, even if there's already a marker. I could be wrong, but like generally you'll probably need like 5 of these if you want it to be like extra safe and just be like, all right, I just want to be sure I definitely have enough.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like realistically you're probably only going to make 1 or 2 with the grade 1 effects.
I think what they should have done is like the Dragontree. It just kind of shows this like polluted wasteland, and I thought what would have been cool is if this is supposed to be like the new Link Joker, where it's this force of nature that kind of comes out of nowhere and devastates the whole planet. It'd be cool if they had like all one for each of the nations, and you see like dilapidated buildings and polluted water and stuff, and then they would look different, and then you could be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get 5 Stoichea ones or 5 Dragon Empire ones," or it's just another excuse to print different arts of them.
They did that for gift markers. And Atlas's internet farted out again.
Dang. Yeah, the different gift markers look really good
so
too.
Why not do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the foil ones a lot.
Well, we'll see what set 10 has to offer next week.
Especially like the black foil ones. Those looks really sick.
Yeah, I have those for Great Nature.
But yeah,
black and gold, very cool.
But yeah, this is just one of those like this is a new level of incompetence that I didn't expect, and hopefully set 10 fixes it. Like that's when it'll be actually relevant. Fuck you if you wanted to play the tree, I guess. Sorry.
So, yeah, set review will be either next week or the week after, depending on if they finish all the reveals. What was the other thing we were going to talk about? It was the
new deck sets that were announced on like Wednesday or something last week. Like I made a couple videos about it, but like we kept getting more details as the days went on. So it's like we have like 90% of these things now. So they revealed like the initial lists for all 3 of the sets. So we have for Graham Grace, Favrenil, and Orphis. We have an approximate price in English because people are already listing it for pre-order, so I just assume they've been given some sort of MSRP to work with. Seems like it's going for around like $45 to $55, and based on the English product page, we are going to be getting like the deck itself, a storage box, one of the small ones like the Sank Guard, a deck box, and sleeves. So we are actually getting all the goodies. For the longest time, they just refused to give us sleeves. I remember that.
That's true.
So, also, fuck you, Atlas. I was right. It is $50.
Damn it.
Like,
well, you're not here anymore. I don't have to pay you.
Yeah. Like the $35 I had said in the videos was just like pure conversion rate from the yen price, which is 42.90 yen. But yeah, it seems like in America they're going for closer to 50.
You do get a like pretty solid deck in 2/3 of the cases. The Favrenil one kind of leaves something to be desired.
I'm kind of coming back around to the list that they put up. Also, are we gonna like show any of the lists? Because you want to like discuss them in detail?
I think I'd rather wait till we get like the details on the reprint and the last cards and everything.
Yeah.
/ I was lazy and didn't prepare anything before we started because I was making dinner. Sorry. But yeah, I think it's good that we're getting like mostly a competent deck. The only downside is you don't get the effect triggers, but they
didn't do that for Chronojet either.
Yeah, you do get your nation's over trigger. It's not just the vanilla one.
Right.
They did that. This is basically like a similar level of quality to like Chronojet and Messiah, though not as like meta relevant, obviously, but in terms of like the deck quality, the one gripe I have is that all of the double Rs that were reprinted for these are at 2 copies.
Boo.
So like Fasado and Painkiller Angel are both at like 2. I know for Orphis, like a lot of the Orphis double Rs are at 2. The new support cards are at 4, but those are still secret. We don't know what those are yet. And
Kadwala is at 2, which was
they also like reprinted the expansion cards from some of the trial decks for Graham Grace and Favreneal. But
good.
yeah. But the nice thing is like we get the effect PGs, we get the overtrigger. They're giving us the promos. I'm a little annoyed that the Graham Grace promo is at 2, but the one for Favreneal is at 4. Like that one is just like, why? Like if you're going to do so, like you can give us these promo cards at 4 copies. You just chose not to in the case of Graham Grace.
So we do make food.
So yeah, I think my stance on this hasn't really changed since all the information that we've gotten out of it. I think this is a thoroughly like medium product.
Mhm.
Like the sets are passable. You're not gonna like win any major events with them, but you probably won't go 0-4 at your locals either.
No, you won't. I don't think so. Especially with
Yeah.
the Orphist one. I think it's a very
Yeah.
underrated deck.
Like the Orphist one is like pretty close to just constructed, actually.
Yeah.
Like it looks very close to what people are just already playing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, it's a reprint for Deus. So,
Yeah,
always
that-
nice.
like I think like Orphist one is the best value by far. Graham Grace is mid. I'm coming around to the Favreneal list, but Favreneal himself is just kind of bad. Yeah.
Now, if they put Brainwash Swirler in there,
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past them to just give you like one triple R reprint in these. Like it is consistent with what they're doing now.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I like this product about as much as I can for thinking that it is the bar that they should strive for with everything, and it's incredibly frustrating that they've been like beneath that bar for such a long time now.
Yeah. I think eventually they'll get to the point where that Konami's gotten to, where like a TD is basically like, all right, it's all here's an Ash Blossom, here's a triple Tactics talent, like just all the staples and shit.
Yeah.
Like we'll get there someday.
Yeah, like we're really just hoping for these 5 special reprints to be like good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
We'll get there.
The English release date is in October.
Yes. Oh, I wanted to add a little
Mhm.
an addendum to when we talked about the Harry and Night Rose premium deck sets. So the Harry deck, which we shat on for that entire episode, is in a better position than you think it is. So the original Magia Harry from G era, you kind of just need to get 4 of those, which are very, very cheap and were reprinted a ton of times, and smack it onto the deck set, and it's good to go with the
history collection stuff.
Yeah. Like it ended up falling ass backwards into being playable for the most part.
Like, I still don't think those are a very good value prospect, simply because like you don't have a lot of the extra goods to justify the additional price. Like again,
the whole deck and the extra deck, or
well, that's the thing. Like as a constructed deck, it's like even if you were to account for the G zone, that would maybe tack like $10-$20 off of like 50, but it's like 150 as opposed to being like 100 or 110. And remember, like this is a bundle. You're getting 2 of them. Typically with bundle deals, you expect some sort of discount, right?
Yeah.
So I would have just expected that because this big bundle that it would have been 100 just based off of these other deck sets being 50.
Yeah.
But they went for 150 instead, and you don't even get like sleeves or anything. You just get like the storage box and maybe deck boxes. I need to double check. I think they give you like coins and like the storage box product.
Interesting.
Let's see for this one. So you get the 2 decks, storage box, coin, 2 play sheets. So you don't get you don't get deck boxes, you don't get sleeves. But they're also charging you like 3 times more than like the individual deck sets for 2 decks with less goodies.
We already shat on them for this. I'm just saying that like for the like when you go with your friend and they're like, but he's getting the Night Rose one and I get stuck with Harry. You're not stuck with it anymore. That's
okay. So I know the Stride deck sets for like Chronojet and Messiah also didn't have sleeves, but they also come with more coins.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that box is like sturdy.
Mhm.
I've seen one in person. It's very nice.
The $50 box or the $200 box?
The $200 box.
Yeah, no, I was talking about like the $50 ones
Okay.
because that's like the basic bitch version.
Mhm.
Like that, I think that's a better comparison point than the thing where that comes with like a special glass case and like rubber play mats and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, like I like these deck sets. Like Father Neil has captured my imagination partially because like just constantly wondering where he was has caused me to form like this weird emotional attachment. This is just how I get into decks. Like, if I
okay.
start going through and explaining all of the various reasons I own things, you're gonna realize that there's always for the weirdest reasons.
Okay, I know you're saying that, but also I want to see a version of MTV Cribs where it's just you explaining the reason. Okay, so I have this pillow behind me, and
No, I just meant for, like, the
yeah,
decks, obviously.
this is where the magic happens. You know.
Like, I don't think I
Yeah.
need to explain this thing.
I know, but just for the
Wait,
For
I
the-
mean, I could do a video like that for various decks I own for silly reasons.
do it
Which
do
is
it
like-
for April Fool's Day or something.
How is that even an April Fool's video? That's just like, here's all the silly reasons why I own these decks.
Well, usually April Fools on the internet has turned basically into corporate websites being like, "Our things are over here now." Like that's the whole
It's very dumb.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just like products that you wish were real.
Yeah.
Where they make a commercial for them, that kind of thing.
And then there's the occasional company that announces something on April Fool's Day, and then it is real.
Yeah. They're like,
We
well, we did it at 11:59 p.m. on March 31st.
I'm a
in the
big
last
fan of
time
the
zone.
thing that is a joke and then becomes real because like people are like, "That's sick," actually.
Yeah.
Like the thing. What was that movie where people trolled it into getting re-released in the theaters?
Morbius.
Morbius. Thank you. Yeah. That.
Yeah, but not that. Because that one was just stupid.
It was stupid, but I'm saying like that kind of thing where
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of takes on a life of its own. And,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
or the Area 51 invasion. Can't stop all of us, all that stuff.
Yeah. But that one didn't happen, but it's okay. Oh fuck, what was that fight for the guys? The Josh fight.
Yeah.
That one was real.
I mean, like, it wasn't real. They sent a news crew out there, and there was a dude Naruto running through the desert. That's really
No, not the Area 51
know.
invasion, the Josh fight.
I know, but just whatever. Wait, who were the two Joshes fighting each other?
Two.
Yeah. Well, there were two Joshes with the same like full names as each other, and then just a bunch of other Joshes that were just there.
Huh.
So yeah, there was like the one that organized the event because he realized that the meme was getting out of hand, and if he didn't like actually make an event to rein it in, then like the internet would just do the internet, and that would be infinitely worse than what actually happened. So, like, the original Josh that proposed the Josh fight, like, took charge of the event and organized it properly so that it wouldn't get out of hand. And then there was one other Josh that shared the same full name. I think it was, like, Josh Swain or something like that. So they had a rock, paper, scissors battle to decide who got to be the true Josh. And then, like, a bunch of other Joshes were there, and they fought with pool noodles.
That's pretty funny. How did I miss this?
That's what I'm wondering.
It was like a big meme in 2020. It's because of COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I feel like 2020 was one of those things where people just missed out on a bunch of stuff. You had the George Floyd protests and then sourdough starters, and everything else was whatever corner you went into.
Good times.
Yep. So I'm pretty much out of gas here. So if
Yeah.
all right.
Like-
Well, what were you gonna say?
No, nothing.
Okay. Yeah, thanks to our patrons at patreon.com/nexus at night. especially Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GR, and Ali, being $10 patrons. If you want to help support the show, content a day early, and a bonus show every week, you can, patreon.com/Nexus at night. Throw us a buck, you get an access to our Discord. Come hang out with us. And at Nexus at night on Twitter. And then you can find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. How about you guys?
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Oh, and then you can also follow my other show at Generation Dan on Twitter or Generation_Dan Instagram. And it's called just Generation Dan, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.